At 0300 hours local time in the pre-dawn darkness of April 2026, a massive Ural transport truck carrying 35 Russian infantrymen rumbled down a rutted supply road toward the Lyman sector, completely unaware that 4 Ukrainian first-person view drones were already tracking their thermal exhaust signature from 3 kilometers away. In exactly 12 minutes, what began as a routine troop rotation would transform into a terrifying demonstration of a multi-stage kill system that has fundamentally broken the traditional rules of modern combat. The truck driver pushed the heavy vehicle to 45 kilometers per hour, trusting the absolute blackness of the night to shield them from aerial observation, a survival instinct that worked perfectly in previous decades, but was now a fatal miscalculation. What he did not know was that the Ukrainians were no longer treating drones as isolated flying bombs. They had evolved them into a choreographed sequence of airborne landmines and hunter-killers designed to dismantle an entire unit piece by piece. The thermal cameras on the leading observation drone painted the hot diesel engine as a glowing white beacon against the freezing blue landscape of the surrounding forest. The drone operator, sitting in a reinforced basement 15 kilometers away, was not looking for a quick kill. He was orchestrating a trap that would soon present the soldiers with an impossible choice, ultimately leading to a psychological and physical collapse so complete that military academies would study it for years. The first strike came without warning, dropping from the sky like a silent meteor. A $500 kamikaze drone, armed with a shaped charge originally designed to pierce heavy tank armor, slammed into the engine block of the multi-million-dollar transport truck. The detonation was a blinding flash of expanding gas and molten copper that severed the drive shaft and blew the front axle entirely off the chassis. The massive vehicle lurched violently, skidding off the dirt path and slamming into a drainage ditch before grinding to a catastrophic halt. Inside the canvas-covered cargo bed, 35 soldiers were thrown into chaos, their ears ringing from the concussive overpressure. Military doctrine hammered into these men during training dictated an immediate response to a disabled vehicle: dismount rapidly, scatter into the tree line, and find hard cover. But the Ukrainian operators were counting on exactly that predictable human reaction. This initial hit was never intended to wipe out the entire squad. It was a calculated mobility kill designed to force the infantrymen out of their armored cocoon and into the open kill zone. As the first soldiers kicked open the tailgate and spilled into the freezing mud, a second drone descended from its holding pattern at 200 meters. This one was carrying anti-personnel fragmentation explosives, waiting for the exact moment the highest concentration of troops gathered at the rear of the truck. The soldiers were trapped in a lethal paradox where staying inside meant burning, but fleeing meant stepping onto a brightly lit stage orchestrated by invisible snipers. The second detonation ripped through the frigid air 12 seconds after the first, sending a shower of shrapnel across the muddy road. The fast win for the Ukrainian operators was undeniable. The Russian formation instantly dissolved into a panicked scramble. The surviving soldiers sprinted toward the sparse cover of a nearby tree line, assuming that putting distance between themselves and the burning truck would equal safety. But they were playing by the rules of a war that no longer existed. High above the chaos, a third drone hovered silently, acting as the unblinking eye of the operation. Its high-resolution thermal imaging sensor cut through the darkness and the thick smoke of the burning diesel, turning every sprinting soldier into a glaring white silhouette on the operator's monitor. The concept of night as a tactical sanctuary had been completely erased. In previous conflicts, darkness provided a cloak that allowed retreating troops to slip away and regroup. But now, a soldier's own body betrayed them. The spotter drone relayed real-time coordinates back to the command center, where a specialized team of pilots sat ready to launch the next phase of the choreography. These pilots were flying smaller, highly agile quadcopters, specifically tuned for hunting individual targets through complex environments. As the exhausted infantrymen dove into shallow foxholes and crouched behind fallen logs, panting heavily and radiating heat, the hunter drones began their silent descent, weaving through the bare branches of the winter forest. This division of labor on the modern battlefield represents a horrifying shift in economic and tactical asymmetry. While the primary strike drones, often referred to as kamikazes, carried out the heavy explosive work against armored targets, a secondary wave of bomber drones arrived to conduct vertical attacks on infantry seeking cover. These bomber units did not crash into their targets. They hovered directly overhead, mathematically calculating wind speed and drop trajectories before releasing modified grenades into the dugouts below. A single soldier, desperately pressing himself against the cold earth of a trench, would suddenly hear the faint, terrifying hum of electric motors from directly above. A second later, a small munition would drop perfectly into his confined space. This relentless rhythm created a compounding psychological breakdown. The Russian squad commander, bleeding from the initial blast, tried to organize a defense, screaming into his encrypted radio for artillery support or electronic warfare interference. But his radio emitted nothing but static. The drone operators had not just targeted the men, they had systematically targeted the soft infrastructure that allowed the unit to function. 2 minutes prior to hitting the transport truck, a completely separate drone had quietly neutralized the local communication relay mast positioned on a nearby hill. The squad was entirely isolated, cut off from any hope of rescue, and trapped in a transparent environment where every desperate movement to find better cover only drew another explosive payload from the dark sky. The surviving infantrymen, their numbers now reduced to 22, made a desperate push toward a secondary supply shelter located 400 meters down the tree line, believing that reaching structural cover would finally break the line of sight from the aerial hunters. They moved in staggered formations, scanning the black sky for any flashing lights or the telltale whine of spinning propellers. The sky remained completely silent, offering a false sense of security. What these exhausted soldiers failed to realize was that the Ukrainian operators had introduced an entirely new tactical layer to the ambush, one that eliminated the only warning sign the infantry relied upon. 30 minutes before the transport truck even reached the initial kill zone, 3 specialized strike drones had already flown to this exact supply shelter. Instead of hovering and draining their batteries, these drones simply landed on the corrugated metal roof and the nearby dirt paths, cutting their motors and entering a dormant state. They became aerial mines, perched like silent metallic birds of prey, waiting for a trigger. As the leading element of the Russian squad burst through the tree line and sprinted toward the shelter doors, the operator pushed a throttle stick forward. The dormant drones powered up from 0 to maximum rotations per minute in under a second, launching directly from the ground at point-blank range. The sudden shape-charge detonation neutralized the vanguard instantly. 2 kilometers away from the slaughter at the shelter, a 2-man Russian electronic warfare team scrambled inside a concrete bunker, frantically trying to establish a jamming umbrella over the besieged squad. They powered up a directional jammer that blasted high-power radio frequency noise across the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, hoping to sever the connection between the Ukrainian pilots and their quadcopters. For a brief moment, it seemed to work. The video feeds on 2 Ukrainian bomber drones dissolved into heavy static, forcing them into automatic hover modes. The Russian operators breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they had finally bought their infantry a window of survival. But this minor victory was an engineered trap. The Ukrainians were actively hunting the hunters. By broadcasting such a massive wall of electronic noise, the jammer became a glowing lighthouse in the electromagnetic spectrum. A loitering fixed-wing reconnaissance drone flying at 2,000 meters instantly triangulated the source of the interference. The coordinates were fed to a specialized heavy-lift drone carrying a 10-kilogram thermobaric warhead. The heavy drone bypassed the jammed frequencies entirely by utilizing an autonomous optical lock, diving silently toward the concrete bunker. The subsequent detonation sucked the oxygen out of the reinforced room, neutralizing the critical control node and plunging the infantry back into total vulnerability. This systematic dismantling highlighted a staggering economic asymmetry that was completely rewriting military budgets around the world. The entire Ukrainian drone swarm utilized in this operation, consisting of nearly a dozen different airborne platforms ranging from thermal spotters to perched aerial mines, cost less than $15,000 in total. In stark contrast, they were systematically vaporizing a heavily armored transport vehicle, millions of dollars in electronic warfare equipment, and a highly trained infantry squad. But the true devastation extended far beyond the immediate physical destruction. It weaponized pure psychological attrition. The constant suffocating threat of observation created profound mental fatigue among the surviving troops. Sleep cycles had been entirely disrupted for weeks because any stationary heat source larger than a dog was immediately bombed from the sky. This chronic sleep deprivation forced commanders into impossibly narrow decision windows where cognitive processing broke down, and minor errors became instantly fatal. The Russian squad leader, driven to absolute exhaustion and deafened by the blast that took out his support, made the catastrophic mistake of ordering his remaining 10 men to sprint across an open clearing. He assumed the Ukrainian pilots had to be running low on battery power, a desperate gamble based on outdated logic that failed entirely. The squad leader's desperate gamble to sprint across the open clearing rested on a critical misunderstanding of the enemy's logistical depth. He assumed the initial swarm of drones had exhausted their 20-minute battery life and that the sky was temporarily clear. He was fatally wrong. As the 10 remaining soldiers broke from the tree line and pounded through the frost-hardened mud, their heavy breathing creating visible plumes in the freezing air, the sky above them did not remain empty. A fresh rotation of 6 first-person view kamikaze drones, having just launched from a forward operating base only 3 kilometers away, crested the tree canopy. The Ukrainian command structure operated on a continuous conveyor belt system, perfectly timing the arrival of new batteries and fresh explosives just as the previous wave reached bingo fuel. The fast win for the drone operators was instantaneous. The lead quadcopter did not target the men directly. It slammed into a small wooden footbridge crossing a frozen creek, disintegrating the only stable path across the terrain. The running soldiers were forced to a complete halt, bunching together on the muddy bank. The remaining 5 drones immediately pitched their noses down, entering a terminal dive at over 120 kilometers per hour, systematically picking off the clustered infantry before they could scatter back into the woods. With the infantry element now completely neutralized, the Ukrainian operators did not pack up their equipment and celebrate a completed mission. They smoothly transitioned to the next phase of the systematic dismantling. The Drone Command Center shifted its focus from the destroyed transport unit to the inevitable Russian response. Standard military doctrine dictates that when a unit goes radio silent, a quick reaction force or medical evacuation team is immediately dispatched to their last known coordinates. A pair of heavy armored personnel carriers began rolling down the same supply road 30 minutes later, intending to rescue any survivors. But the high-altitude observation drones had never blinked, watching the entire route with thermal optics. Instead of engaging the heavy armor with light explosives, the operators utilized a specialized heavy-lift drone to drop a cluster of anti-tank mines directly into the deep tire ruts created by the first destroyed truck. The lead armored vehicle, driving blind in the dark to avoid detection, drove directly over the freshly laid trap. The massive explosion blew the tracks completely off the chassis, trapping the rescue force in the exact same kill zone as the original squad. The hunters had effectively turned the rescue operation into a secondary ambush. This continuous, layered destruction illustrates the true horror of this new era of warfare, where the physical environment is completely unforgiving and psychological resilience is systematically crushed. The survivors inside the disabled armored personnel carrier realized that stepping outside meant facing the same aerial execution that wiped out the previous squad, yet remaining inside the steel hull turned them into a stationary target for the heavier bomber drones that were already en route. They were paralyzed by the certainty of observation. This is the death of the traditional battlefield sanctuary. There is no safe rear area to fall back to, no darkness thick enough to hide in, and no armor heavy enough to withstand a precision strike to the engine deck. The constant buzz of electric motors echoing through the winter trees acts as a psychological weapon, inducing a state of perpetual terror that degrades combat effectiveness faster than any artillery barrage. Soldiers stop eating, stop sleeping, and ultimately stop following orders, fully aware that any action they take will be instantly analyzed and countered by an operator sitting comfortably miles away behind a glowing monitor. What occurred on that muddy supply road in the Lyman sector is not an isolated incident. It represents a perfectly refined industrial process being duplicated hundreds of times across the entire front line. By late 2026, the battlefield had evolved into a landscape dominated by specialized, mass-produced flying machines. There is a precise division of labor where observation platforms identify targets, kamikaze units deliver kinetic strikes, and heavy bombers execute finishing blows, all coordinated through encrypted digital networks that operate with ruthless efficiency. This ecosystem thrives on a staggering economic imbalance. A military superpower can spend 10 years and $3 million training and equipping a specialized infantry squad, only to watch them be systematically eliminated in under an hour by a teenager piloting $300 worth of plastic, copper, and consumer-grade batteries. The drone operators are no longer merely supporting the infantry. They are the primary effort, actively hunting the enemy's logistical lifelines, targeting the water deliveries, the ammunition drops, and the communication nodes that keep an army functioning in the field. The final realization is that the nature of modern combat has fundamentally shifted away from the concept of a single, decisive battle. The strategy is no longer about holding a specific trench line or capturing a patch of dirt. It is a slow, constant, and mathematically precise grind designed to systematically dismantle the physical and psychological infrastructure of the opposing force. By continuously targeting the soft links of the military machine, such as supply shelters, radio antennas, and the mental endurance of the soldiers themselves, the drone networks ensure a cumulative breakdown of the enemy's ability to fight. Every step forward becomes a potential trap, and every hiding place becomes an illuminated target on a thermal screen. The traditional logic of warfare, where massed armor and infantry formations punch through defensive lines, has been entirely replaced by a transparent, high-risk environment where survival depends solely on maintaining a fragile, constantly hunted support structure. The drone swarm does not simply defeat the enemy, it digests them piece by piece, turning the very concept of a military offensive into a mathematical impossibility.